Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video on Bite of Geek. Today I'm going to be going through a bit of a follow-up video to my smart camera notification test video. This time we're going to be looking at the footage, so let's get into it. Okay guys, so again with this test, this is the kind of like the opposite end of what I was showing in the previous video. There's a link up above if you want to go and see the notification test. So this is actually the recorded footage from that, and again, so it's going to be the Arlo Essential Spotlight Camera, the EufyCam 2C, and the Blink XT2. Now, just to clarify something here, somebody did comment on the previous video saying, why am I not using the latest Blink camera? Well, the simple answer is there's little to no difference between the two models. They have pretty much the same internals on them, and most of the tweaks are cosmetic in terms of the outer casing and some additional software functionality which to do with privacy. So for all intents and purposes, you're dealing with the same camera with this test. So what we'll do, again, it is going to be kind of like the quick step out test, it's going to be the slow walk test, and it's going to be the wide angle test as well, the field of view test. And we'll also have a look at some of the quality, the long distance quality on the recordings, and also the files, what the kind of like the file sizes and the quality, the bit rate that's recorded on those files. So yeah, let's get started then. So first up, we've got the quick step out test, and as per the previous video, the Blink camera didn't actually record anything here. It just didn't pick me up. In the previous video I got no notification of anything being recorded, whereas the Arlo camera and the Eufy camera both recorded me pretty well, I'd say. I think there's not much between it there. If you were to freeze frame these videos, you'd actually see that it's caught me just as I've stepped out from behind the outbuilding, and for me, that's pretty good. There's not much in terms of land that I've managed to get through before I've actually been caught on camera. So pretty equal there, I'd say. Moving on to the slow movement test. So this again, same kind of space that I'm moving from, but I'm moving at a lot slower pace. And this time the Blink camera actually picks me up. So good for slow moving people trespassing on your property, I guess. But a real bonus point here for Blink is that marginally it does actually pick me up slightly quicker than the other two cameras, which it does surprise me, given that it didn't actually pick me up on the quick moving test. As you can see, there's not much again between them, and I think in terms of your footage and the response time of it starting to record, I think these cameras are all pretty decent with regards to that. So thirdly, we move on to the wide angle. So this is where the cameras are placed at a specific angle, and I'm walking from the kind of like the outmost position of these cameras and seeing at what angle they will actually start to pick me up. And as you can see here, the Eufy camera gets me first, and you can see how far into the frame I am there before the Eufy camera actually starts recording. Then you've got the Arlo camera, and again I'm a little bit further into shot there, and then again with the Blink camera there's a little bit more of me in shot before the recordings actually started. So and that all kind of correlates with the notifications that were sent. So I think overall, in terms of capturing your video, I think the Eufy camera ever so slightly edges in front of the other two, but it is very, very slight. I think obviously the Arlo camera is fairly consistent, and the Blink camera, it's got some inconsistencies there, but it is very, very close. If I was going to pick one, I think I'd probably think about where I was going to locate this camera. The response time for the Blink camera not picking up the fast movement, I think is potentially a bit of an issue. So You know, I think, you know, the Eufy one just edges it slightly there for me. So in terms of image quality, well, you know, they're all 1080p cameras, and to be honest, you're not going to get the best detail at a distance. So, you know, in this recording, this stills here from all three recordings, 10 to 15 feet away. You see my face there. It is a little bit pixelated on all of them. None of them really stand out there. I think obviously they will obviously do an awful lot better job when it's a close-up image, and you can see that here on this particular set of stills. But you know, you're going to have to go to 2K or 4K really if you want good quality at a distance really. In terms of colors within these images, well, you know, for me the Arlo and the Eufy are probably most representative of the colors. It was a very cloudy day, no sunlight or anything like that, so quite gloomy, and if anything I'd probably say the Eufy is just a slight amount too dark in the recording. The Arlo one is probably more accurate. The blink camera does seem to, certainly the recording on that seems to be a little bit too vibrant for me compared to what is actually outside. And also the image looks a little bit processed. It looks a little bit, you know, kind of like blurry, in you know, smoothed out, I guess. I'm not aware of anything being done on the camera that would cause that. So, you know, that's probably just the way, you know, compared to the other cameras that, you know, the blink recordings come out. But certainly, you know, when you look at the detail within the file recordings themselves, I think it's also quite interesting, you know, both the blink camera and the Eufy camera are recording at, you know, 1080p, the normal resolution there, but with the Arlo camera it's actually at 1072, so it's a slightly different resolution. Certainly when I'm importing footage from that camera into my video editing software, I have to actually jump through hoops in order to get that to be recognized properly, so that's something to bear in mind really with the Arlo camera. But bit rates, you know, very similar bit rates. You know, the Eufy one's slightly higher, different frames per second on there, but that's, you know, just going to be the software settings really. So in terms of quality and the recordings that are being captured, well, I think it's pretty neck and neck really between the Arlo and the Eufy cameras. They've both demonstrated that they're, you know, regardless of what happens with regards to your notifications, they've both picked up what has entered the field of view very early on and have you know, started the recording there. The blink camera did as well, but the issue with regards to fast moving objects within the field of view, I think, you know, that is something to bear in mind. I might actually dictate where you position your blink camera, and maybe, you know, if you have the camera angled on, you may actually get a better experience from it. But, you know, I know from all the discussion forums and things like that, you know, people are wanting to use these cameras face on, and I know that with blink the recommendation is that you actually have it pointing at an angle, so that might be what the problem is here. You know, you need to bear that in mind, certainly, you know, considering where you're going to mount one of these cameras. So, but in terms of quality, you know, these are all 1080p cameras. You could see the pixelation in my face, and really, you know, if you're wanting something a lot sharper, you're going to have to go up to that 2K or even 4K, depending upon how far out your cameras are going to be looking. But, you know, if it's reasonably close up, I think, you know, 1080p is going to be fine. So there you go, guys. There's my thoughts on these cameras and the quality of the footage and the recordings. I'd love to know your thoughts down below in the comments, and any questions, you know, drop them down below as well. But as always, you know, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are not a subscriber. But as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.